Seriously? F those cocky A blacks. Black people need to stop crying and realize they aren't oppressed anymore. They used that card already. Black people not only kill each other, but they kill regular people too. They're animals. Hey, we're sorry about slavery, but you murdering, raping, and stealing really isn't helping your case in a white-dominated world, so you may want to behave your monkey behinds. How do these yaks make you feel?
Well, as a Black American from the South, am I surprised? No.
It's not just the South, though. It's everywhere. It's just a little undercover.
We do go to a campus where they know what not to do necessarily on a big scale, but like the small ignorant things from people who like haven't grown up around black people and they just don't know how else to learn.
Mitch, you don't act like what I thought a black person was gonna be like. Mitch, you're the coolest black person I've ever met.
Oh, Omari doesn't count. Or, Omari, you're like an Oreo.
Oh, you're on a track scholarship, that's how you got into the school.
You don't act black.
How many black people do you know?
The yaks give off an unconsumable truth.
We don't live in a post-racial society, by any means. By any means.
Like, it's really important that we all realize that this is still an issue.
And I think a lot of people here just see all the issues around them, and it's as easy as turning off your TV and you're like away from everything.
When you don't see it, you start to get, I could say complacent, where you start to believe that, racism actually is dead, or racism actually is decreasing.
We've been like secluded here and no one really pays attention to what's going on, so it's easy for them to not think that Pepperdine's campus has any issues at all, whether it's race, sexuality, like none of that happens here to most people, like they never think of it.
And you kind of gotta, at Pepperdine, tiptoe around.
The ethnic majority of students here don't want to be made uncomfortable. But I feel like that's the experience that you have to get from college.
There should be a general education requirement that people have to step outside of their comfort zones and learn about something that's way past them or outside of their world.
Because I think that mindset of we're just creating more problems is the problem.
There's a disconnect in terms of relationship.
Or more students in the student body can get worked up over the lack of Christmas paraphernalia on a Starbucks card than they can about their peers being personally, individually, to some degree, attacked.
Then someone's failing, someone's failing all across the board.
But it's just sad to see that other universities are going through the same thing. Like, I'll see my friends' Facebook posts and they attend other universities.
Watching what's happened at Mizzou, watching what's happened at McKenna.
American University, Pittsburgh.
There's a social dynamic that needs to be changed. And then there is an academic dynamic that needs to be changed.
You don't wait until Yik Yak or something like that comes up. That is reactive. We need to be proactive. And proactivity says that we have ongoing discussions about race. If an issue comes up in the news, we have a discussion about that. But even if there are no issues in the news, what are some of the things that we should be reading? I think we should have a club that discusses racial issues, just like you would have a club that discusses gender issues or everything else. And that needs to be ongoing. We also need to as I think as professors, and I would have to be one of the people that would participate in this as well, we need to pool our knowledge on the materials that people should be reading about race, whether it's from the standpoint of sociology or theology or politics or philosophy or religion or literature. Every single discipline has some sort of material that addresses issues of race. So we can begin to address it from a disciplinary standpoint, but I would say don't allow the conversation to end when things seem to cool down.
I can no longer just stand aside and let racism and ignorance be present and accepted on Pepperdine's campus.
So I think the class will be a good way to start the conversation, because I think a lot of the people either haven't grown up around other people of different races, or if they did, they were like not necessarily hanging around them. and so they don't know a lot about other people and other races and what we go through.
The racism that we see against African Americans and against other cultures is often rooted in intellectual traditions like craniology, right? Like eugenics. So to say that racism can be dealt with only on a one-on-one interpersonal ethical level is naive, to say the least. We must start with an intellectual foundation, and that's what I try to deal with in my classes.
I am in higher academia, and therefore I am supposed to take my biases and whatever prejudice, whatever social things I have, and I'm trying to reach them at a new level.
There are many students out here who want something to happen, but it's just who's going to put their neck on the line to sacrifice privilege for solidarity.
So the sit-in was necessary because when you have a large group of people who all believe in the same value, sitting in quietly is going to cause a disruption in the environment and have students and other faculty talking about it. With that disruption, you're going to cause the administration to have to step in and give true statements.
I'm not big on public responses. I mean, to be very honest with you, I'm not one who issues press releases and calls for press conferences. I just do. I act. My reputation is I get things done. And when I found out about that, through 2 alumni of the AK organization, that's how I found out about it. I hadn't heard a word. It's on a Thursday afternoon. And I immediately made contact with our general counsel and our chief information officer, and I said, "You're going to handle this." The phrase that I used was scorched earth, because I'm angry. And but the next morning, Yik Yak had taken it down and had denied those who put it up access to Yik Yak because they violated Yik Yak's standards. We even went a step further, and that is, I think one thing that often happens in a situation like this is the people act emotionally and they think adequately, but we wanted to determine through the FBI if a crime had been committed.
You can't change people's hearts. That's not your job. But you can take care of you. And if an opportunity is available for you, then you step into that opportunity. Don't think I can't because of who I am or because of my background or my parents' background. You have to know that you're not going to be able to change these over here. So what?
Stand up for yourselves and communicate better than these people communicated to you.
Just continually show them how wrong they are. And I think that's exactly what we're doing.
I want to see the anonymous white crack, cause my face black, so who said that? Cowards doing a whole lot of yik yak, face facts. When the black face clap back, you scared of the spotlight. I hate that you're negligent, your racism subtle. I'd rather it be a talk than help us to pop the bubble. Teach you about the struggle we live. Look at it from this perspective. Your history is a GE while mine is just an elective with no effort towards proper understanding. Trying to help you get to know us. You label us demanding. So sick of where we're standing in the ways that we've been branded. Who taught us to be biased? Look, I am not my parents. Started thinking for self. Started dreaming about better. Envisioned a world of love. I thought it was kind of clever. If you don't see my color, well then treat me like I'm white. That's a stretch, right? Right. So show me your face and we can talk about it. Man, I just want to see that anonymous white crack. Cause my face black, so who said that? If whoever you are is just too scared to act, man, don't be, cause I forgive you.